Hello everyone, welcome back to the Global Alert TV channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. When a massive earthquake strikes Japan, the world immediately turns its eyes toward the nation that has long lived on the edge of seismic risk. This event is not only a headline but also a reminder of how fragile human life is when nature unleashes its unstoppable power. The exterior impact of the earthquake is visible everywhere: shaken buildings, cracked highways, derailed trains, damaged ports, and thousands of frightened citizens rushing through the streets in search of safety. From the coastline to the mountains, the shockwaves spread rapidly, shaking not just the ground but also the confidence of millions who must once again endure the frightening experience of an unpredictable natural disaster. The destruction from the outside perspective reveals how infrastructure is tested against the fury of the earth, how sirens scream across coastal towns warning of possible tsunami waves, and how the modern skyline of Tokyo and Osaka, though built with advanced engineering, still sways like fragile reeds in the wind. Helicopters circle over coastal areas, broadcasting evacuation orders as people pour out of their homes carrying bags, children, and sometimes only the clothes on their backs. This exterior view, raw and unfiltered, paints a dramatic image of both chaos and discipline, fear and resilience, vulnerability and strength. Moving into the interior dimension of the earthquake, the story becomes more personal, emotional, and overwhelming. Inside the homes of ordinary Japanese families, bookshelves collapse, televisions fall, and kitchen cabinets fling open as plates and glasses shatter across the floor. Children cling to their parents, crying as walls tremble and ceilings crack. Inside schools, teachers guide students under desks and toward emergency exits while alarms blare and lights flicker. The interior of hospitals reveals an even more heartbreaking image: doctors and nurses rushing between patients, securing life support equipment, ensuring that surgeries are paused safely, and wheeling those in critical condition to safer areas. The elderly, often unable to move quickly, wait anxiously for assistance from neighbors and emergency workers. In offices, employees scramble for safety helmets and emergency kits, items that every Japanese workplace is required to keep. The emotional interior is even bigger, carrying the weight of fear, uncertainty, and trauma. Parents worry about their children who might be in different districts at school. Families separated by travel desperately try to reconnect through overloaded phone lines. Inside shelters, people gather shoulder to shoulder, strangers comforting one another, volunteers offering blankets, water, and reassurance. The interior is not just about physical spaces, it is about the inner world of the people: the silent prayers, the nervous glances, the tears of relief when loved ones are found safe, and the deep anxiety about what comes next as aftershocks rumble through the night. This huge interior layer of the earthquake experience, both material and emotional, is what makes the story of this disaster so human and so unforgettable. The performance of Japan's preparedness and emergency response systems is again under the global spotlight. Japan is one of the most earthquake-prone nations in the world, yet it has also become the most prepared. Within seconds of the seismic activity being detected, the country's early warning system sent alerts to millions of mobile phones, television broadcasts, and public announcement systems. Bullet trains, which travel at extraordinary speeds, immediately activated their emergency brakes, bringing them to a halt before derailment could occur. Airlines grounded planes temporarily as runways were inspected for cracks. Rescue teams were deployed within minutes, with firefighters, coast guards, and the self-defense forces mobilizing to support affected regions. The performance of these systems, built from decades of painful lessons including the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami, saves thousands of lives by preventing chaos and giving people crucial seconds to react. Performance also shows in the discipline of the Japanese people themselves. Trained since childhood to respond to earthquakes, they move with calm precision toward safe zones, avoiding the panic and stampedes that often worsen disasters elsewhere. The world watches and learns as Japan demonstrates that while natural disasters cannot be stopped, their impact can be significantly managed with preparation, technology, and collective discipline. Safety features across Japan once again proved to be life-saving during this massive earthquake. From the architecture of skyscrapers with flexible steel structures that sway instead of collapsing, to coastal tsunami walls built to absorb the force of waves, to regular evacuation drills that make response almost automatic, Japan's culture of safety is unparalleled. Apartment complexes are equipped with reinforced foundations, while homes are often stocked with helmets, emergency food supplies, and battery-powered radios. Schools run earthquake drills monthly, so children know exactly where to go and what to do. Public transport systems have automatic shut-off features when seismic activity is detected, preventing catastrophic accidents. Even vending machines in Japan are designed to unlock free water bottles during emergencies, ensuring hydration for those stranded outside. These safety features are not luxuries, they are necessities for a nation that lives daily with the possibility of disaster. Their effectiveness is now being seen in the survival of millions who had only minutes to react. Still, no system is perfect, and the scale of this earthquake means that some structures have collapsed, some defenses have been overwhelmed, and the danger of tsunami waves remains a terrifying threat for those living along the coast. Yet the existence of these safety features shows how preparation can turn potential widespread tragedy into manageable crisis. What makes Japan stand out uniquely in the global narrative of disaster management is not just its technology but its social discipline, cultural resilience, and international leadership in teaching others how to prepare. These unique selling points are visible as the crisis unfolds. While many nations would descend into chaos, Japan's communities come together. Neighbors check on each other, local governments communicate quickly and clearly, and misinformation is swiftly corrected through official channels. The people's respect for authority ensures that evacuation orders are followed without argument, and volunteers flood shelters to provide aid. The Japanese spirit of gammon, meaning enduring the seemingly unbearable with patience and dignity, becomes the invisible shield that carries them through these dark hours. International aid organizations study Japan not only for its buildings and technology but for this social resilience that cannot be built with concrete or steel. Japan's unique ability to transform disaster into lessons for the world makes it both a victim of nature and a teacher for humanity. The price of this disaster will be calculated in many forms, and it is already becoming clear that it is enormous. Economically, the earthquake has disrupted industries, halted production lines, and damaged vital infrastructure. Billions of dollars will be required to repair highways, bridges, airports, and homes. The technology and automotive sectors, where Japan plays a global leadership role, may face supply chain disruptions that ripple across international markets. Tourism, which was just regaining momentum, may again suffer as travelers cancel plans. Yet the deepest price is measured in human terms: lives lost under collapsed buildings, injuries from falling debris, the displacement of families from flooded or destroyed homes, and the psychological scars that will remain for years. Insurance companies will publish figures, and governments will draft budget allocations, but the true cost will live in the hearts of survivors who must rebuild their lives from rubble. For children, the memory of fear as classrooms shook will never fade. For families, the absence of loved ones lost in the waves or crushed by walls will be an eternal wound. The price of natural disaster is always more than money, it is measured in time, trauma, and resilience. In conclusion, the massive earthquake that rocked Japan and triggered a tsunami alert is not just another news headline, it is a reminder of humanity's fragile place in the natural world. The exterior reveals visible destruction, the interior reveals the human struggle, the performance of preparedness systems demonstrates both human ingenuity and their limits, the safety features show how planning saves lives, the unique selling points highlight Japan's social and cultural strengths, and the price underscores the heavy burden of disaster. Yet the conclusion is clear: Japan will endure, recover, and rebuild. Its people will stand tall once again, and the world will continue to look to Japan as an example of resilience in the face of overwhelming challenges. The lessons from this disaster will not only shape Japan's future but will echo globally, teaching every nation that preparation, unity, and respect for nature are the only true defenses against its unpredictable power.